everybody. So we'll just start in a second, guys. Let's get it. First time on the live with my actual face, and of course I mess things up. Hello, everybody. I know it's an unexpected face reveal today, but to honor my guest today who decided to come and speak about his art, I'm going to, for one of the rare times, have my face on camera. I will bring him up in a moment. Of course, we all know him as Oral Ferguson. He creates art through broken glass. So today we're going to welcome him to the live stream warmly and happily. He's going to take some time to answer some questions and present, of course, his work to us. So I will bring him up now. And so please give him a warm welcome to the show. And here he is, Mr. Oral Ferguson. Yay! Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Excellent. I'm doing great. Thank you for being here and taking time out of your day to do this little interview for little old me. But I'm so glad to see you here, and I hope all is well with you.
Everything is fine. Thank you.
Excellent. So I know I gave a very quick and very brief, introduction to you and your art. But why don't you tell my audience what you do as an artist and what brought you into the art world?
Actually, I create art from broken pieces of stained glass and broken pieces of mirror.
Oh,
And
excellent.
I use these broken pieces to create pictures, and that's what I've been doing. It actually just fell in my lap.
Oh, wow. And what got you started? Was there a particular moment, a particular piece or something else that inspired you to start getting into it? Because I know that working with glass, especially when it's broken pieces, is not something that I see very often.
Well, it actually started when a mirror fell off my wall. I don't know if anyone ever put up a mirror and they didn't put it up properly
Hmm.
and it fell. In my case, it actually fell and it just shattered into a lot of different pieces. I was pretty upset when it fell because I know I didn't do a good job actually putting it up properly.
Yeah.
But as I was sweeping the pieces up with a broom, one of the pieces looked like a hand,
Yeah.
and I was kind of puzzled. How can a piece of glass break and shape to that form? So I actually picked it up and I put it on the table and I started picking up some other pieces. And this is kind of how I got started. I kind of got started just based on the unique shape of these broken pieces.
Excellent. Good stuff, man. I'll show a couple of your pieces so that way people will get an idea of what exactly you do and so forth. I just want to say hi to Lashes Journey. Thank you for being here, and her husband Kurt Russell. Thank you guys for being here and spending some time listening to this wonderful artist speak about his work. Hello, Ramhesh. I believe this is the first time I'm seeing you here. Welcome. Perfect time. We have a special guest here, Oral Ferguson, who's talking about his work. So I'm just going to go ahead and show some of the work that you do sell online, right?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
sell online.
Okay, perfect. So in case, guys, and I will put momentarily the link to his website. So anybody who wants to look at the website and check out his photos, possibly buy some of his work, you will be able to do so as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the screen so that people can see what I'm talking about, and instead of it just being some abstract idea and concept. So one second here. Here we are. So as you can see, guys, this is the photo gallery of some of the work that he does with glass. So we'll go into this one here. Um, Let me scroll down a little bit to hopefully get the name. Oh, I'm not seeing the name. Are you able to see the screen of the photo that's showing, Oral, or not at all?
I can see this one. This
Yeah.
particular page is just a page of random pictures. It's not actually the part where you have all the pictures based on size
Okay.
and stuff. But this one here is actually a family, and
Mm-hmm.
this is actually was created for the Scott's family. It's actually a mother, her two sons, and her daughter.
Okay. Cool.
This was done with a combination of broken mirrors and broken stained glass, and
Okay.
that's what this one is all about.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. So he sees this is one of the pieces that he does, and it looks very beautiful. And I mean, I would not think of being able to do something like that with broken glass. For me, if it's broken, I throw it in the garbage like a lot of people. So it's amazing that you can look at this and, oh yeah, I can make a mother and her three kids, and here you go. And people are willing to buy, but obviously for good reason. Definitely worth looking. But we'll check out another work, and I believe it's under your shop props. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So we'll check out this one, which you named "Play That Funky Music," which is 13 inches by 16. And whoever, if anybody is interested, it is worth 75 buckaroos. So you never know. So that one, and then we've got this one over here. Take a leap, which is also 13 by 16 inches and $75. So just to give you guys an idea of what kind of work Oral does, and that is online and that you guys can potentially purchase. So we'll just stop sharing that for a second. And here we are. So, hello, Yan. Hello, Stewart family. Thank you guys for being here. First Gen Corporate, thank you for being here. I'll quickly put that little link in the description. So, anybody who wants to possibly look at the work and possibly buy, feel free. So, feel free to check. Sorry, my brain does not allow me to talk and to type at the same time, but we will continue. So, and how long have you been an artist or been part of the art world? Would you say?
Well, to be honest with you, I created my first piece when I was around 30, and
Mm-hmm.
then I stopped making them for about maybe another 20 years or so. I went off to a real job that I could make some money. And this actually started to get serious back in 2019. Uh,
Okay.
remember creating a piece for my sister in Maryland, and her friends keep asking her, where did she get it? And every time I go to Maryland, it's the same thing. And what kind of inspired me that one day is when she said, somebody said, don't be surprised if someone steal that picture. So when I came back to Florida, I said, you know what? I better start making some more pictures. So 2019, I got really serious. It was kind of a hobby slash business.
Mm.
It's not a business that I say will really pay my bills, but it's more like a therapy. It's very therapeutic for me to go back in the backyard and play with this glass and make pictures.
Of course, and it looks a lot of fun. It looks very interesting. But for me, when I hear glass, I'm like, oh my god, it might. I'm afraid to get hurt and to cut myself with it. And I don't know how you do it, but I'm sure you take a certain amount of precautions and all that to make
Yeah,
sure that
that,
you
that
don't.
is true. And now that you're saying that, I have run into customers that associated with 7 years of bad luck.
Uh,
Uh, People actually pull my hand to see if I got cut. So there's been some press back from the
yeah.
type of work. But most of the pictures, I would say 95% of them, they actually have a glass over glass.
Yeah.
So usually it's not like you can actually put in there and touch the glass.
Of
It's
course.
the glass is over it. So I actually, it's a different kind of art. I know sometimes when I create it, people actually think I sit there and I cut the glass to make it,
Yeah,
but it's all, it's thousands of pieces and you're trying to find that right piece that fit. So it's a
of
little more
course.
than just what you're seeing. It takes some time.
Of course. And do you have to like source the broken glass from somewhere, or you just when people break something, some glass piece at home, they say, "Hey, or would like this," and then ship it out to you, kind of thing.
Well, there's a lot of people that work with stained glass. Sometimes you have it and it crack.
Mm,
If you have a cubicle or a piece and it crack, you really can't do much with it if it's broken. I would actually break that piece up with a hammer
yes.
and create something out of it. So it's kind of repurposing, and not all glass I can actually make pictures out of because if it's too thick, I don't even deal with it. I deal with much thinner glass
Okay.
because you're putting glass on top of glass when you're creating a picture. So
Yeah, got you, got you. No, that's all good stuff and good knowledge. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
And did you go through any kind of training to be in art or artistry in general, or to do what you're doing, or did you just say, like you said before, this is just a hobby and you just go with the flow kind of thing?
No, I didn't go to school at all for it, and I've been in some art shows, and I have a lot of people that they went to school for 4 years of art school and bachelor's in art. So
Mm,
you get people asking you a lot of questions. Mine was self-taught. I do the backgrounds, I do the framing, I do everything by myself, and it's actually the process of learning,
okay.
teaching yourself. So I don't really worry about the big words when it comes to art and stuff. Because I know that my art actually stands out and it's very special. It's always a talking point when you look at it because
Yeah, exactly.
if you look at it on the website and you look at it even what you're showing, it really hits you when you see it up close. And that's the
I can.
difference in the type of work. So,
Yeah, of course, of course, and that's what attracted me to your art, because I don't think I mean I've seen people use mirrors in art, or reflective surfaces in art and things like that, but I rarely, the closest I can think of is in Japan, and I can't remember the specific term for it,
mhm,
where they kind of do like you, where they repurpose. When a pot is broken, rather than throw it away,
mhm.
they'll fix it up with gold. And yeah, exactly, that's the closest I can think of it, where they like you, they have that concept of let's, why not just reuse it, why not just reintegrate it into something else and make it more beautiful than what it was really originally. Because
Right.
glass, when you look at a mirror, some of the mirrors can be very ornate and very, like, especially the framing of it, you can make it a whole new art and a whole piece by itself. But most of the time, like I said, for me, if I see broken glass, okay, 7 years bad luck, I have to throw it in the garbage, and pray to God, please don't curse me.
I
I don't
know.
want to, But you're looking at this like,
Mhm.
wow, I can make this into a family, I can make this into that. And
Right.
nobody had to tell you, nobody had to train you to do that. But
Right.
that's what's wonderful about an artist, is that a lot of the time that creativity, it
Mhm.
just comes to you. Nobody has to show you or train you, and that's a difficult thing for people to understand. And sure, the technique of like brushing, you
Mhm.
probably could teach it, but that inspiration is what's so difficult to come by, right?
Yeah, and I have tried to actually pass it on to other people in terms of how to do it, but I find a lot of people had a problem catching on because
Mm,
if you take a piece of broken glass, a lot of pictures I made is trying to find the right angle. Where
mm,
do you put a piece with that angle at? You know what I mean?
mm.
You can't just put any piece there because it doesn't look right. So
Of
you have
course,
to
yeah.
have an eye for angle. I think that's
Yeah, yeah.
the thing. So it's people are saying that it's simple, but it's not really that simple. You have to, and for me, it just started to evolve. I remember when I started doing it in 2019, I was only using broken mirrors. And I
Yeah.
went to art show, and the lady said, "Why don't you try stained glass?" And I never thought of stained glass because I used to just love the mirrors when you put it up on the wall,
Mm.
especially in a black background. It just shine and just jump at you.
Ah, yeah.
So I started working here in Florida too. I find that a lot of people like colors. It's
Yeah.
very colorful. It's a little bit different from like up north. Up north, they're like a darker background. I don't know how to explain that to you, but I've seen the
Yeah.
difference in terms of Florida versus up north. So
Yeah.
now they're enjoying the color glass, the stained glass that I'm using compared to 2019 when I was just using mirrors only. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, but you're right. I mean, there's obviously regions have their, different taste of
mhm.
colors, of backgrounds. Like you said, there's preferences essentially, right? So it's
Yes,
interesting that you say that, like, yeah, when you go to the north, that they're gonna like different things than people in other parts of the country. Yet it's all the USA, right? You would think everybody's a monolith, but in reality, you're right. Like the south is not like the north, the northwest is not like the northeast, the
mhm.
southwest is, there's always going to be little subgroups and subdivisions and things that aren't, what works for you may not work for me, what I like you might not like,
That's
etc.
correct.
So, and it's always fun, and that's why I try to have, when I do this show, to introduce, try to see, show different artists, because
Mhm.
I might love your work, but somebody else like, wait, glass art, what are you talking about? And to sort of
Right.
introduce that concept and to show, yeah, no, you can make just about anything beautiful if you really put your effort. Oh, sorry, got a phone call. Sorry,
Right.
guys.
No
Sorry.
worries. You're good.
Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. All right, I'm back here with you. Sorry about that. Hello, Well Talk Engineering, aka Wally. I'm glad to see you guys here. So we'll keep things going. That none of that happened. None of that happened. We'll erase that in editing. And I know you touched upon this a little bit beforehand, but maybe to go a little in depth into it. What inspires you as an artist?
I think when I was younger, when I stayed with my grandmother in Jamaica, in Port Antonio, there was an artist, Herbie Rose, that had a gallery. I think I was probably like 7 years old, and I think I was amazed at looking at his work. Um, but I think what inspired me was the fact that I could create something that I like based on when I was younger, but it was a little different than what I saw. It was
Yeah.
something that I saw, and that's kind of what it is. What inspired me now is just you know what can I do next? I had an art show about 3 weeks ago, and one picture I made was sorted after. He had like three people wanted the same picture to purchase it, and it was funny that I felt so good because three people liked it.
Yeah.
I never had that happen before. And then when I came home, I realized that I could never make another one just like that one.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
every piece that I make, I can never. Sometimes I try to make it and never come out the same. It's one
Yeah.
of a kind. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that actually brings up another question that I would have. Do you have like a database of all the paintings or works that you've done, or basically once it's done, that's it, that's all, and it's out of sight, out of mind once somebody purchases it, or?
I'm tracking them a little bit more now, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I started coming up with names with different categories.
Mm,
Like I would have Market Day, I remember when I was younger in Jamaica, my grandmother used to take me to the market. And so I created a person with something carrying a basket. That was one person. That's market day one. Then I'll make a market day two, and I'm up to market day four. Okay,
Ooh.
so, and then I created a series of Carnival Day. My wife, being from Trinidad, I remember going to Carnival. I created Carnival Day 1, Carnival Day 2, Carnival Day 3. I'm up to Carnival Day 4. Actually, the Carnival Day 4 actually also sold at my last show
Yeah.
because it was strictly stained glass for that particular one. And
Excellent.
so that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm not, in terms of your question,
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting there. I'm not into that high tech prints and I'm making things as simple. But I
Yeah.
have some on my YouTube channel. I have them on my Facebook and
Yeah.
my Instagram. So I monitor what I've always made. Every time I made one, I
Okay.
used to do a video. So there is
Excellent.
some track and series concerning those pictures.
Excellent. Because I know it for a lot of artists, let's say, I don't know, Picasso or something.
Mhm.
Of course, there's been a lot of imitations and fakes. And is this really Picasso? Is this really? And for me, that's kind of where I was thinking of if you're, if you just created and, ooh, I don't remember, it's kind of hard later on,
Mhm.
maybe for your children or grandchildren to be able to keep track and say, yes, our father or grandfather created 100 pieces. We know
Mhm.
exactly which 100 they are because
Mhm.
he has this catalog and has
Mhm.
kept track of them and said, okay, we know 101 is that, 102 is this, blah 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 blah. Because I know that in the art world, there's a lot of that. Creating a fake Picasso to make
Yeah.
a few $1,000s or something, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you've seen that, like, of people. Yeah, I have a Picasso, and it's like, yeah, no, sorry to break your heart. That's no Picasso.
I know.
Sorry,
I know. I
you
know.
know.
I think I have mine in a way that you can tell that I made it with my signature and a couple other things. And
Hmm.
the more advanced I get, the more you can tell you can't duplicate it. Because
Of
as I said
course,
earlier, I can never duplicate a picture I made. I
yeah,
can sit there all day. You're not going to find the same shape of that glass to actually create it. So
of
some
course, yeah.
pictures take me 2 weeks just to do it because you're still searching for that piece that you want to incorporate.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's the good thing to go to with your art, is that it's not something that you said that you could easily be duplicated and done. Just to find a piece that match, just one that matches one of
I know.
yours. It's, let alone, let's say you took 10 pieces of broken glass, to
Mhm,
find 10 of them that would match would be very difficult. Yeah, definitely.
mhm.
And like, I know you're 21, 22 years old, but for some of the, some some of the slightly younger artists there that are out there, what are some of the recommendations you would give to some of the up and coming artists, but having a couple years experience over them in the art world?
Well, I think part of it is to really kind of stay with what you really enjoy because you can get very easily discouraged. I look
Mm.
at some of the pieces I make in 2019 and I look at them now and I said, I know I didn't do that one. So you can get discouraged and you take 2 weeks off or a month off or 2 months off
Mm.
because you know you kind of not lose confidence, but you're not staying with it. So the younger artists, I think if you really enjoy what you're doing, you gotta stick with it even when you go through those tough times in terms of doubting yourself because being an artist is I don't care if it's music or art, sometimes you get to doubt yourself.
Of
You know,
course.
not artists, not a lot of artists. They might have this macho thing that they're positive and they have all this other stuff, but they have feelings just like everybody else. And you have to kind of catch yourself as a young artist, especially a young artist compared to somebody like myself being 21, as you said, to say, I will continue. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard. You have to write a little note upon your wall and say, I will continue every day. Whatever it takes you, whatever you have to do, you have to keep doing what you're doing. And that goes for anything you're doing. You know, I,
Yeah.
I see that you're doing your show, and I'm glad you have me on your show. But
Thank
I
you.
know, it's a constant improving, and what can I do better, whether it's for your audience or whether it's for the public, in whatever you're doing. So,
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, for sure. You're absolutely right. Sometimes, like you said, with my show, that's a hard time sometimes to like continue to even just coming up with a guest of like, okay, who do I talk to? What do I talk about? Does anybody really care what I have to say? It's that difficulty for a lot of people that are, whether it's YouTube, whether it's you creating art,
mhm,
it's that constant that you have to produce something that people want to buy.
right.
And it's like you said, it's finding that joy of doing it, because for a lot of people that's what they don't realize. It's like, well, you just have to find broken glass, but it's not for you. It's not just finding broken glass. You have to put it together, you have to take time, you have to it takes energy out of your day, time out of your day to do all of this, right?
Mhm,
It's not just finding the pieces and okay, put them together. It's not, even though you touched upon, finding the right angles, there's a certain amount of calculation and getting the right things and putting it together and inspiring yourself basically from nothing, because that's what like a lot of people don't realize when it comes to art. You're inspiring yourself from nothing. You have a blank canvas, and like, where do you go when it's like when you're looking at that and it stays blank? What
mhm.
do? It's not like, if you're sick or something, you can go to the doctor, and the doctor could, oh, you have a headache, you have a oh, you have this, they could go down the list, and okay, this is what's, as an artist, you don't have that luxury of, okay, go
No,
down the list of inspiration and just put one block there, one there, and okay, there you go, another piece of art. Hey, wonderful, great, fantastic.
and
It
it's
takes a
so
lot of work.
true.
Yeah.
I know I go sometimes and I sit down and I get ready to do something and nothing came. I sit
Yeah.
there for half an hour and nothing. And then it could be 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm laying down. This came the idea, and I just get up and create something. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to explain. And that's why I kind of stay away from commission work, to be honest with
Mm,
you, because commission work is, especially with the glass,
mm.
it's a whole different ball game. One of the stories I speak about is a lady say, "Well, can you make me walking my dog on the beach with a dog?"
Yeah.
You create a little image, you put it together. It so happened that you probably did a poodle, and it's all done. And the lady had a German Shepherd. And looking at it, it's like, so you have to
Yeah.
kind of, I have done commission work.
Okay.
I'm not saying I will never do commission work, but I try to stay away from commission work. I think
Of
my kind
course.
of art is when you sit in a house and when you're looking at it, it's like a talking piece. It's like I never seen it before. So it's more curiosity that I see most people addressing my artwork. So
Cool, cool. No, that I'm glad that you addressed that question. But yeah, it's always, especially with your work, I would imagine that it is difficult to commission it, because unlike somebody like Picasso, where it's paint. There's
mhm.
always going to be yellow paint. There's always going to be red paint. You know what I mean? But where
Right.
are you going to find that particular glass to make a particular shape of a head? Like you said, if you're trying to make a poodle, but the person really has a German Shepherd or something, you have to literally go find all the right pieces, that, and it's, you might get it, you might not. So it's yeah, I could definitely understand for you why having commissions may not be the best of idea,
Mhm.
unless they say, hey, look, yes, I want you to create a commission, but make whatever you want. I'll give you
Right.
100, but it has to be like you decide what that theme is, or what the image is going to turn out to be.
And now that you say that, Caroline, it's important because I did have a customer that said, "I want to commission you to do a piece of work,
Hmm.
but I want you to create something that comes to you."
Mm.
So, I try to figure out the customer. I knew the customer a little bit for a few years, and I try to figure out what they really like.
Mm.
And come to find out, they did like what I made, but it's like you sit there, are they gonna really like this one? Because
Yeah, of course.
we create stuff that we like, but it's not necessarily that somebody else might like it. So
Of course, of course. No, for sure. And would you like recommend? I know that you said you wouldn't really recommend for yourself, at least to create commissioned work, but would you recommend to others, or do you think it's a good idea for yourself, maybe, for artists to sign contracts or have managers for their work?
I think with young artists and the contract, I mean, because you see a lot of artists getting screwed, having not read a contract,
Mm,
okay, and getting caught up in these legal issues. I think you just want to emphasize, spend the time and a couple of dollars to have someone read the contract first. I think if you're a struggling artist, don't get me wrong, and somebody offer you a contract, okay, and
mm,
you're not really doing anything, you want to take advantage of it, okay? But
yeah,
you want, I think the first thing you have to look at is how long is the contract and how much committed you are, okay?
yeah,
Instead of the fine prints. But a lot of people got their start from contracts, okay? But
yeah,
a lot of people they're so talented that they end up getting screwed because they're so talented, okay?
yeah, exactly.
You know, I think these days you have to kind of jump on, if somebody want to back you for something, just keep remembering, hey, can I get somebody to look over it? Google legal help if you can, and just spend a few minutes or a few moments going over that contract before you sign it. You
Yeah,
know,
no,
not to
yeah.
cut you off, but some people pressure you. I'm gonna give you a contract, but I need for you to sign it now because I don't have time. I have other people waiting. So they pressure them to get that signature right there and then. So that's something you have to be a little leery of also. You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's good advice. And yeah, you're right. And I think I know for me back in the day, I remember when Prince changed his name to that weird looking symbol, and everybody's like, why is he
I
doing
know.
that? It just seemed so ridiculous. But it
Mhm.
wasn't until later when I heard him interview, he said, I did that because hey, yeah, I signed $1 billion contract. I was making money. Oh, isn't it great? Isn't it fantastic? But
Mhm.
a lot of times I'm no longer the owner of my own music. I'm no longer the owner of my own work. So it's
Mhm.
like, how, like if I decide to leave my label, all my hard work, all of my blood and sweat and tears is now being profited of by the big companies. I'm no longer profiting from my own work, from my own, the time that I've spent creating all of this. So it's
Mhm.
like, no, no, no. I'm creating the symbol, buying back my originals under my new symbol name.
Mhm.
And, that way, whenever somebody buys his music, it goes directly to me. So that goes to your point of like, you have to read the contract, look what you're gaining, what you're giving up. Because a
Mhm.
lot of people don't realize that, yeah, you're creating this wonderful piece of work and yeah, it's beautiful and you're making $100, 200, however much you might be making off of it.
Right.
But
Mhm.
then be told that okay, every time you create a piece of work it technically belongs to whatever company. Are you willing to give that up, right? So you have to be careful of that when you're an artist to make sure that can you live with that? Is that okay for you? Some artists don't care. Hey, it's like, look, I'm making $1 million. If I was never with this company, yeah, I'd have all of the paintings, but I'd also be broke. So for some of
Yeah.
them, it's like, I'd rather the $1 million than the paintings, like, it's but you have to be willing, you have to be, aware of what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, definitely be very cautious and read, and like you said, get that legal help, get that person to read over and explain to you in the legalese, make it as dummies as I call it. You're like, where it's like, I don't understand what you're saying. What, speak to me like I'm an idiot here. I don't know any of this here.
Right.
But yeah, no, good stuff. Good stuff. Hello, Kareen. Kareen, thank you for joining in here. So we'll move on to the next couple of questions. And I know you touched upon this as well, where you were talking about an exhibit that you did 3 weeks ago, which is where I saw you with Melissa Jane.
Mhm.
Other than that, has your work been exhibited in museums or galleries or other shows, or do you just randomly say, "Hey, I'd like to do a show this week, and where can I get it set up?"
Well, I've been in the Uncommon Gallery in Fort Lauderdale. I've been in a public library downtown Fort Lauderdale. Um, I'm around a couple of little places now. I have pictures here and there, some small venues. Might have two or three pictures. Uh, So it's not a big time thing. I was able to put on an art show. I guess that's where you saw the
Yeah.
show with Melissa. And that show I was very surprised because with the coronavirus going on now,
Yeah.
a few people was gave me some commitment that it was going to come, and then the last minute is like, I don't know if I want to take a chance. So
Yeah.
I understand. But for the amount of people that came and for the amount of pictures I sold, I'm still getting over how shocked I sold that many pictures. Okay, because it took me by surprise, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I wanted to really show. I think I took about 40 pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have probably another 25 to 30 pieces here that I didn't take.
Yeah.
So it was. I was very surprised, okay, that I did that. And
Yeah.
I'm going to start putting some pieces around maybe a couple of different venues,
Yeah.
So I haven't been, to be honest with you, I don't make it a point to just say, well, I'm going to do this every day.
Yeah.
I take it in stride.
Oh, of course, of course. No, it's hard, and like like you said, Corona definitely has not helped anybody, particularly artists. Where I'm from, Montreal, we're a big art community and lots of festivals, and
Hmm.
basically for the past 2 years, I don't think has been any major festival here going on, and I know a lot of artists have been hurting very badly about that, and really just not getting the necessary exposure because for a lot of the
Hmm.
events that's where they would make their money, that's where they
Okay.
would get their exposure. We have here the two big ones here is the Jazz Festival and the
Hmm.
Just for Last Festival as well,
Okay.
where a lot of comedians make their first starts.
Hmm.
The Jazz Festival, of course, a lot of jazz musicians make their first start here, and people get a chance to make their discovery. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's hard with the corona to be able to quote unquote sell yourself, or market yourself, or at least show, hey, I have this work here that's enjoyable. And
Hmm.
as much as the internet can help, I mean, there's a thousands artists online selling their work, right? You're unfortunately one drop in a big ocean of artists that are trying to make a name for
Yeah.
themselves. And it's hard, it's definitely tough. And I mean, that's kind of why I'm also trying to do this kind of episode, to
Okay.
hopefully give you a little bit of a promo, and a little of attention. Hopefully the people will look at your work and, oh, I like that one, I'm gonna buy it. Hopefully, please, please, guys, please.
Yeah. And
Not to beg, but
Carolyn, not to cut you, but
yeah, go ahead.
I was able to the coronavirus and this whole period of shutdown
Yeah.
actually helped me to create even more pictures. Okay,
Oh, wow.
because I would be doing something different if things were back to normal. Okay, to be honest
Of
with you.
course.
So
Yeah.
I used that time in my own little space and time to create a lot more pictures. So
Oh,
um,
excellent.
everybody, I think, came up with new ideas. It was a time for people to move out of their comfort zone to do something a little bit different than they've been doing. Okay, and
Of
that's
course.
kind
Yeah.
of what I did too. So you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So what I was saying is that the coronavirus, in my case as an artist, helped me to actually create more pictures and use more imagination than I had before the
Excellent.
coronavirus. Yeah.
No, you're right. No, and it's funny that you say that. But as much as we like to sometimes complain about it,
Hmm.
it has, in some aspects, changed the world for the better. You know, I know for me where I work, it's allowed for some things to happen online that beforehand people were saying, no, 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 we don't want this online. We don't want. Now it's like these same people who were complaining about being things online are like, we love it online. What do you mean go back to it? No. What do you mean to have to go outside and work and to be in my, what do you
No,
mean? I could work from home all day.
no.
What?
Put, put your pajama on and
you
you
know, I don't know if you saw that commercial where it's the two people pretending to be in a business meeting, but they both bump into each other walking on the beach, and they have like the fake thing behind them. It's like they just look at each other like, and then continue on with the yeah. I didn't see you on the beach, you didn't see me on the beach, and it's kind of like for a lot of people, you have that idea of like we can pretend we're in our little world, and like you said, just
Yeah,
have the shirt, the professional look from the waist up, and then PJs on the bottom, and everybody's relaxed. But
I
no,
know.
the some things have been changed for the positive. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna take a second here. Hello, Zan the man. Thank you for coming in here. And Kareen, thank you guys for being here. And hopefully you guys will check him out. I'll put a second little plug into your website so that
Mhm.
if people want to check it out, maybe purchase or anything, or just even to look, that's always good stuff.
Yeah,
Hello, friends given. Um, so check. Sorry. Where are you? There we go. So there you guys go. So that's the link, guys. If you want to check out Oral Ferguson's work, please give him a nice little, warm welcome. And I'm glad that he's taken time out of his day to spend with us and explaining his work to everybody. So we're nearly done already, but it was a good time. As they say, it always goes fast when you're having a good time, right? So
that's true.
exactly. So last little question for you. What are your thoughts on memes not getting credited uh, to the original artists or creators?
Well, that's been going on for a while. I mean, you have a lot of people out there just taking advantage of what people create, and they don't really give them credit.
Hmm.
So that's I think that's always going to happen. You just have to try to protect yourself as much as possible. I go on YouTube a lot to learn a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. So that's kind of my classroom right now, my college, if you want to call it. Everything I don't know, I'm not saying everything is right on YouTube, but it actually have helped me out in finding out a lot of things. Okay,
Yeah.
and they seem like it's almost my little dictionary. But people don't get the credit like they're supposed to in a lot of things. And you just have to try to protect yourself.
Yeah, of course. Because I know for a lot of people, it's like, oh, why should I? Well, why shouldn't you?
Mhm.
Like we said before, so many of us, you put your time, your effort, your blood, sweat, and tears
Mhm.
creating this work. And I mean, obviously, for a meme, it's not necessarily like that complicated, but
Mhm.
you're still putting time and effort into creating something. And people can literally make millions of dollars. I think there's a couple people that have made a good career financially because of the meme that they created, but the person that was the subject of the meme didn't make any money out of it at all. It was just like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. You're using my face, but you're the one making money and I make nothing. Wait a minute.
Right.
Like
You
that's
know,
not quite. Yeah.
that's always going to happen. And
Yeah.
people are asking me, am I taking out a patent or all this other stuff? And I told them no. To me, and it also depends on. I shouldn't use the word materialistic,
Mm,
but it depends on how you want to live. You want to be living in a mansion and drive the, whatever, or you just want to enjoy and. So I look at my kind of work as I'm comfortable. You know,
yeah.
and I want to put as much work as I can out there because I want to leave it behind.
Yeah.
And for the people that want to copy and whatever it is, that's another day and time. And that's kind of how I look at it.
Of course, of course. I mean, it's like you said, it's always been around. Like I mentioned before, why Picasso has, so many times. I have a Picasso. No, you don't. You really don't. But it's that's like you said, the nature of the game, and you try your best. You try to make sure that it doesn't happen to you or to minimize it. But like you said, that's the best you can do.
Hmm.
And like you said, you're just trying to enjoy your life and trying to create work that you feel is
Right.
memorable and enjoyable, and that hopefully people will enjoyed. And yeah, and I do have one particular person in the chat that's saying that they enjoyed your work and that they find it impressive.
Okay.
So that's yeah, hopefully you'll be getting a few new clients today, hopefully. Cross our fingers, but we'll see. But yeah, so today, guys, that was our talk with Oral Ferguson. I don't know, Oral, if you had anything else that you wanted to add or to say before we call it a day.
No, I just want to wish everybody a happy New Year's and hope that you keep safe.
Yeah,
Life is too short to be worrying about a lot of things, and I try not to worry as much. But keep safe. That's the thing you want to do. Keep safe, and
yeah.
don't let the little things bother you. Carolyn, I appreciate you having me on your show, and call me anytime. I'm right there. Just say, hey, can you show up tomorrow? Hey, yeah, it's not a problem.
All
Enjoy
right.
being on the show, and everyone that joined the show, thank you for joining in.
All right. Thank you very much, Oral. So I'll wish you a kind evening and thank you again for tonight. And thank you for your patience despite my tardiness and the
We're,
interruptions in the calls and stuff. I swear, it's usually not that bad. There are some mistakes, but really not that bad. I swear.
no, no, I
And
went back and looked at some of your shows there because
yeah.
I saw Melissa and I was able to look at some of your links and stuff. So I know that don't worry about it. You're fine.
All right. Good,
Put you
good.
on
Thank you very much, and happy New Year to you as well. And give a big hug and kiss to the family and everything else. So,
okay?
thank you again for your time, and I'll wish you a good night, Oral. So, have a
Thank you.
good one. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So that, of course, with our guest Oral Ferguson, and of course, I put his link into the chat. So, guys, at any time, you guys can check him out. Do feel free to go visit his website, purchase some of his works if you feel that you liked it, you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this interview with Oral Ferguson tonight. Thank you, Super Dave 44, for being here with me tonight. Thank you, Stream Elements, as well. And hello, a blind guy, his wife, their life. So that's the show for tonight. As you can see, mine a little face reveal for me tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will be seeing you guys Thursday morning for my reading of the Game of Thrones book. And Friday night, I will have a book review. Saturday night, I will have a movie review. So that's it for tonight, guys. I hope you guys have a great night. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.